You're listening to KPFT Houston 90.1 FM on your dial, or catch us at HD1. If you're down in Galveston, you can listen to us at 89.5, and our friends up in Huntsville, 91.9 FM. You're listening to Songwriters Studio at 7 o'clock. I'm your host, Tom Tranchilla. Thank you so much for supporting listener-sponsored public community radio here at KPFT. We could not do it without our listeners, and please don't forget us. Come March, we are going to have our Spring Fund Drive, and we will depend on you, the listener, to keep folks like me on the air so we can bring you our favorite artists like Mr. Guillermo Serpas. Guillermo, are you with me?
Yes, sir. I'm right here.
Thank you, Guillermo, for taking time. You're at a gig right now, but you gave me a copy of your new album this past week. It is excellent. You've got,
thank you.
What is this, like your fourth release, is it not?
Yeah, it's my third release.
Okay. I know you released another record years ago with your brother under the Serpas Brothers, and that was way back, almost 20 years ago. 1999 was that release?
Yes, somewhere around that date, yes.
Well, I know, Guillermo, it could not have possibly been anywhere near the quality that this new release is. You've reached new milestones. Your guitar playing is just outstanding on this new record, and I really like the way you broke the genres up. You've got jazz on here. You've got all kinds of classic-related music on this, especially the jazz tracks and the excellent flamenco you're playing.
Thank you, sir. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to ask you how you decided which tracks. These are all original tracks, are they not?
Yes, they're all original compositions. I always try and change things up, kind of just have a little bit of variety for the listener and for myself as well, because sometimes you listen to one album from a certain artist, and then you kind of just listen to the next one, and it's like everything's the same, kind of generic. But being an independent artist, I think that's an advantage, because I can do whatever I want, and it's justifiable because it's still within the genre that I play, guitar music, So I kind of want to have a little bit of variety, more smooth jazz, flamenco, more, So I play around with that idea.
Well, you all also brought in saxophone, flute, and a variety of other instruments as well, fiddle. I wanted to start off the show with Perpetual Fire, which is actually the fourth track off the record, but you are just smoking on the guitar on this track. And I wanted to make sure I got your take on this before you have to leave to get back to your gig. Tell us a little bit about this composition and how you put this arrangement together. It is just, wow, it's mind-boggling. Go ahead.
Thank you. Well, what can I say? The rhythm is rumba flamenca, but how I came up with it, it's just inspiration at the moment, and came up with melody, rhythm, and then the percussion arrangement as well kind of made the song come alive, and the percussion is Casio Duarte, and I wanted to dedicate the song to all the great guitarists that kind of have inspired me through all the years of playing.
Well, the name of the album is The Muses Brew. It's not even out yet. You gave me a copy of the master. It will be available when?
I would say 2 weeks from now it'll be available.
Let's listen to Perpetual Fire right now.
Right on.
Guillermo Serpas, Perpetual Fire. Now, I need you to tell the listening audience that are students of flamenco guitar how you do that.
Well, it's hard to describe how I do it. You know, just listen to a lot of guitar music, flamenco music, and then be patient. Practice every day your scales and your rhythm. Rhythm is very important. Some people underestimate the importance of rhythm, but you know, that's where it's at. That's the driving force of this kind of music. You know, it's very percussive.
Rhythm and tempo, yes. And by the way, your percussionist on this record is just doing an outstanding job. Tell us a little bit about who you hired to do the percussion on here.
His name is Mr. Casio Duarte, and he's played with all sorts of international artists. You know, Stranton Farah. I forget how many people he's played with, but he's very accomplished. He recorded the percussion in the studio, and then he sent me the tracks, and he just blew my mind when I heard what he did. So, you know, yes, he's still in town. He gigs around town.
If you're just tuning in, this is Tom Tranchilla with Songwriter Studio, and tonight's guest is Guillermo Serpas, one of my favorite, certainly my favorite in-town flamenco players. He's outstanding, not only live, but his recordings. Well, you just heard one track that will literally blow your mind. I think this guy is so tight. His new album is excellent, The Muses Brew. I've backed up to track number 2. I want to play this La Fuga. Did I pronounce that correctly?
That's right.
Tell us. This is. I consider this more of a Brazilian style. Give the listening audience a little cue up on this one.
Well, I would think this would kind of fall still a little bit into kind of almost a rumba rhythm, but it's not quite rumba flamenca. And the percussionist is, again, Casio Duarte.
If you're just tuning in, again, my guest is Guillermo Serpas. I don't know if you can stick around after this song. There's a few questions I'd like you to ask. I'll leave that up to you. Let's just jump into track number 2 right now, La Fuga. Guillermo Serpas, brand new music. The name of the album, The Muses Brew. What a terrific track, La Fuga. Excellent use of harmonics there at the end. Excellent arrangement. If you're listening and you want a copy of this album, when will it be available?
I would say 2 weeks from now, Tom. I'm hoping for 2 weeks.
Catch you at one of your live performances right now. I'd like to plug your current performances right now. You're playing at Anthony's Market Grill out in Fulshire. If you're out there and listening, if you want to catch Guillermo live, I assure you, I've seen him live many times. He's just as good or better live than on recording. Where is Anthony's Market Grill located?
It's here in Fulshire of 1498, I believe. So if you're going I-10 West, you take an exit on 1498 and then head towards Fulshire, and you'll find it. It's almost like in the middle of nowhere, but, you know, this place is amazing. It's always busy.
And if they can't make it tonight, do you have a website they can go and check your calendar to find out where you're playing? Sir. And it is?
Yes. GuillermoSerpas.com.
Spell it.
GuillermoSerpas.com.
And I know from experience, you don't even have to spell it right. If you get close, it'll pop up. And like I said, I can't stress enough how good your live performances are. Your flamenco work and your jazz work, Guillermo, is second to none. You're probably one of the top flamenco players in the Houston area for sure. And I really can't urge the listening audience enough to get out and see your live show. I'm going to go ahead and play track number 3 off the brand new album right now. It's called Twilight Rain, and I love the fiddle work on here. Tell us a little bit about this track.
I would say it's almost, again, a little bit more of a rumba flamenco rhythm, a little bit more on the mellow side, and the violin player, his name is Vladimir Kocheruba from Ukraine. So he plays around town, and he plays a lot of gypsy music. So he brought that gypsy element to this song, and, you know, he did a wonderful job. I let him do whatever he wanted with the song. So I just sat back and absorbed his ideas, and we recorded them. So
I love this track. Guillermo Serpas is my guest tonight. The Muses Brew, the name of the new album that will be available in 2 weeks. Listen to this track right now. Twilight Rain, brand new music. My guest tonight is Guillermo Serpas. The name of the new album is The Muses Brew, and I understand you may have to get back to work. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. My break is almost coming to an end.
Guillermo, I'm going to continue to play your music off your new album for the next 8 minutes while we're on the air. And real quick, give these folks one more time your contact information, your website, so they can check your calendar and find out where they can come out to see you live.
Well, I think the best way you can find me is online, GuillermoSerpas.com. Google my name. You can go to YouTube, and everything will pop up there as well. So it's as long as you can, how to spell Guillermo, my last name, Serpas with an S at the beginning and an S at the end.
And I'll be sure to get a copy of this to Juan Flores, the jazz master up here at KPFT. He'll want a copy. I definitely want to play this or at least get this out to some of the other programmers here at KPFT to get you some exposure because it is that good. There's not a bad track on this record. The name of the new album is The Muses Brew. Thank you so much for being our guest tonight on Songwriters Studio, Guillermo.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and it's always good to be back. So, especially with new music. So I appreciate you giving me the time.
I know you'll get back a couple copies when this is released, and we'll spread them around up here. And I'm going to play Saxon Soul up next. Can you give the listening audience a quick cue on this before you take off?
All right. This is more on the smooth jazz side, and a really good friend of mine, Lindy Pollard, plays the saxophone in the song, and he really made the track come alive. He did an outstanding job, and it's basically as much his song as it is mine because he came up with the saxophone parts, and he blew my mind, really. He did an outstanding job.
Once again, thank you for being my guest tonight and taking a break from your paying gig. By the way, you are a full-time musician. It makes us a living at this. So the name of the new album, I highly recommend this one, The Muses Brew. It will be out in 2 weeks. Guillermo Serpas, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Brand new music. Tonight's guest was Guillermo Serpas. The name of the new album is The Muses Brew. This is an excellent, if you like this type of beautiful acoustic music, it's a mix. I consider it Latin jazz. It's flamenco. It's got a little almost folk classic to it. It's an excellent recording, very well recorded, and the Guillermo Serpas is an excellent writer, guitar player, and composer, and this is just a super release. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on Songwriter Studio, and please stay tuned. Whole Mother is next. Debbie is in the house, and we'll see you next week. Songwriters Studio.
Thousands of you have heeded the call, but there's always room for more. You can find KPFT on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. From our latest updates to funny videos, contests, news, and more, you can find us anytime, day or night. We're at KPFT Houston on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We'd love to give you the latest. Plus, you're already on Facebook. Why not get behind the scenes of Houston's leader for independent music, arts, ideas, and culture right now? Again, find us at KPFT Houston on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. See you there.
Bring me higher, love.